Hello everybody and welcome to I Command. We have another skirmish video for you today, and today I'm trying something a little bit different from what we usually do. Usually I show you some game we played on the tabletop, but tonight is Veterans Day and I didn't have any class and my wife's not around, so I thought I'd just maybe try out play a game on Vassal with kind of a weird list that I've been wanting to try. And so, it ended up being a really close game, a lot closer than I thought it would be, and really interesting game. So I thought, hey, I saved the log, and the nice thing about Vassal, you can kind of go back and replay your logged games. So, I thought, let's put this up on YouTube. So, anyway, I'm gonna try and make this a quicker video. I'm gonna go through this pretty quick, just kind of show the highlights basically. I'm gonna try and keep this one under 15 minutes, so let's go. So you'll see my hand of command cards is going to be up on the top right, and then my opponent's command card hand and their deployment cards on the bottom right. He's playing Spectre Cell and he's using Motivation on Zeb. I am playing kind of a weird list. I have Han Solo with Rogue Smuggler, and I have Ahsoka, I have Hera, Gideon, 3PO, Rebel Care Package, R2-D2, and Davith Elso, one of my favorite figures in the game. I don't know why. I think he just does a lot of stuff when he activates, and it's kind of fun. We're playing Blitz on Lothal Waste. I took the outside. And you're kind of seeing, this is kind of the end result of our first turn movements. I moved R2-D2. I have initiative, and I move R2-D2 first. He moved Chopper, then I believe I moved Gideon, then he moved Sabine, then I moved Hera or 3PO, he moved Kanan, Zeb, and it ended up being, I think I moved either Han or Ahsoka last, and he moved Ezra last. And I think that's smart. I think that's what you're supposed to do. So anyway, let's go to the first activation. Actually, I activated first. I activate 3PO, focus Han. He goes ahead and activates, let me fix that. He activates Sabine and chucks a grenade into my figures there. Those 4 figures take 1 damage. He tries to play Rebel Graffiti, and I snap off negation. I think you definitely want to negate Rebel Graffiti early if you can. I think whichever one they play first, if they play Rebel Graffiti on Sabine, or if they play Take Initiative, is the one that you just use your negation on whichever one you can first. Yeah, I think that's correct. And because that would have been like 8 to 10 victory points for him, that would have put him way ahead and not made this as close a game as it was. Speaking of my hand there, I had a pretty good hand. Again, negation for Rebel Graffiti. I had Take Initiative for next round. And I have Davith's card Vanish, which we'll go over in just a second because it's going to be very important for this match, for this round even. So I focus on, I go ahead and just move him out. I don't really want to move my other figures yet. So I thought, well, you're going to put your figures in the open. Then Kanan can eat a focused Han attack. So I go ahead and roll. Let me bring the dice up here. I rolled decent, but Kanan re-rolls into a quadruple block with Spectre Cell, and I only do like 3 damage because I didn't have any surges. I think I may have re-rolled that surge. Maybe not such a good move, but and I just move back, protected by 3PO there. Let's see. He activates Kanan. He moves him there, so he's not going to get attacked anymore. And he puts him there so he can, later on, he can Spectre Cell him 2 spaces to attack whatever figure I put between the terminal and the objective there. And that's why I didn't move him all the way up to the critical position. I move Gideon to the critical position. He moves Hera. And here I actually move Davith down into that space instead of R2-D2, even though I put R2-D2 there within range, and I play Vanish, which means that Davith cannot suffer any damage until the end of his next activation, or actually the start of his next activation. So he is invulnerable, and I get to just sit there with impunity, just like Sabine gets to on the Spire, which is pretty great because it means I have total control of this terminal and the objective, and Chopper just kind of gets to sit and spin there. He just moves him up kind of like a pass. I go ahead and use R2D2. I draw on the lamb, which is nice. Now that he knows that Kanan won't be able to do anything to Davith, he moves Zeb up to scare Gideon. I move Hera to the critical position there, but I keep her a little bit out so I can use called shots if I need to. He moves Ezra up to the critical position that Kanan did not move up to, and then moves a Spectre cell, and he gets perfect 5 damage on Gideon to defeat him. I activate Ahsoka, I token up, and then force jump 6, I think I went 5 spaces there. And I attack Zeb. I get a pretty bad roll, but I remember I have Hera there to ensure I get that surge I need, so I re-roll. And I think with Hera I did 7 damage, which is pretty sweet for a single attack off of Ahsoka. I played a lot of Spectre Cell games, and it's been a while since I've seen one of them take 7 damage off of one attack. Maybe I don't play enough hunters. That's probably the issue. So anyway, we go to the end of the round. I draw 3 cards because I have Rebel High Command and I control the terminal with Davith. We both have 2, so we could both have 2 fluctuations, so we both each score 4 points. Ezra uses Brash here, and here I use Take Initiative, which is really good. He doesn't have negation. Pretty lucky for me. And I activate Ahsoka, Intelligence Leak. In his hand I find Strength in Numbers and Tough Luck, and one more card. I don't remember what it was, but it wasn't something that important. I take Strength in Numbers here because it's really devastating when the Spectre Cell does this. Play their Strength in Numbers. Basically they get to have 3 big attacks in one activation. It's pretty backbreaking. And now I know that he has Tough Luck, so I can kind of avoid it. And just try not to re-roll my dice if I can. I take a Strain and I discard Force Rush, and here I attack Zeb, and I'm hoping that maybe with this wild attack I could actually kill Zeb before he gets activate. Unfortunately, I don't get the perfect rolls I need, and he gets a pretty good roll with his 2 dice, but I still deal 6 damage, so I mean that's still really good. I force jump away with Ahsoka. I should have moved 1 square south, so I would be within reach of the other critical positions if I needed to get to them. So that was a bit of an error on my part here. So Zeb uses Heart of Freedom, attacks at Hera with the melee attack, the free one. Kind of low rolls a bit, although Hera low rolls too. So since she's surviving, I don't do anything. But when he does his ranged attack, that's when I play on the lamb. And that's because if I had done it on the melee attack, he could have just moved up, followed Hera wherever she decided to go, and hit her again. Now he doesn't get to attack her again. But the annoying thing is that he still has an action, because up to that point he had only used his action to attack. I decided to put Hera there because I don't want Zeb to be able to reach her with a Spectre Cell, or with... I mean, I guess he had a move action, but I put her there because I know that when Ezra tries to get to her, I have a little surprise for him. So I activate, let's see, who am I going with here? I think I pass here. Just didn't want to move any of my figures out yet. So Hera activates, plays planning, moves up to the critical position. Oh, then I passed. Oh, I see, right, I passed after... Actually, I'm not sure who I activated. I think I must have gone with R2D2. Anyway, here Ezra moves 4, tries to attack Hera, but before he can do that, I play Slippery Target. Pretty awesome. Basically like a second on the lamb against a lot of these new melee figures that are really good. But Ezra gets to keep his second action, and he moves and follows Hera. I activate Hera because I know there's another Spectre Cell attack that could come from Ezra here. I need to get her away and create space. I do 1 damage and move her 4 spaces, so she's 3 away from Ezra. Doordonot activates Sabine. He does another 2 damage with his grenade here, and then he does something interesting. Instead of moving back onto the spire, he attacks Han. This is pretty aggressive, but he's got tools for the job. Luckily I have 3 PO and a block, or I have Cunning gets triggered twice, so I have 3 blocks. He still does 5 damage, but I have line of sight, and Han does a really nice 7 damage back to Sabine here. And now she's in the open. Pretty rare. So I activate Han. I want to try and kill her. It's so rare to see her out of her little comfort zone, but she gets a dodge. Of course. Nothing you can do about that. So because Han's damaged, I move him into my deployment zone. But I keep him in a spot where he can see down both sides of the tunnel. So if something tries to come and attack him from the edge, he can still shoot back. And that's really important. Okay, he uses Spectre Cell here to attack with Sabine. Attacks 3PO, kills him. Plays Celebration, goes up to 13 to my 4. And here I activate Davith, so he gets 4 movement points. He's coming out of his Vanish. I attack here, and I have enough that I can do 3 damage or use Fell Swoop. I decide that even though I love Fell Swoop, I love using that, I need to kill Sabine, and I can't risk her rolling a dodge on the second attack. So I go ahead and do the 3 damage with the attack, and then I use Cut and Run to move through her and do the final point of damage. And I'm really happy to see Sabine gone. She can, on this map, she is so hard to kill in that if she just stays in that spire. So whenever she comes out, if she decides to show her face and not stay in there, you just gotta snap kill her as soon as you can. I mean, if you have the opportunity, if you have the means and the opportunity. Sometimes you won't have the means, so she'll just come out and kind of mock you and taunt you, and you have to ignore her, but I had the means because of that big Han attack. So Davith moves back to the objective. Kanan tries to get some revenge here, but Davith rolls a dodge. I'm finding I really like white die figures against Spectre Cell, especially the Force users. Because normally they just pierce away whatever you roll with a black die, but you can get that dodge and they can't pierce that. So go to the end of the round, both get 4 points again. Ezra moves up with Brash. Narrowing the gap here, but he has initiative and he decides to go with Zeb. He's gonna try and take out Han, but Han rolls a dodge. And I would just like to point out here that because of that roll with Zeb, all Han had to do to survive that was roll a hit and an evade, and he would have lived with 1 health. So I actually had a 50% chance of surviving that attack. Shoot back, I do 3. He plays Brace for Impact, but he still rolls really bad, but I roll pretty bad too. He remembers that even though I dodged, he can recover 1, so we let him do that. And now I have to kill Zeb now, because if I don't, he gets to attack again with Spectre Cell. You have to remember that even after a Spectre has finished activating, if they have Spectre Cell ready, they can still attack you. So I activate Han, play Planning, and draw exactly what I wanted, which was Tools for the Job. Just want to make sure that Zeb dies here. If he high rolled and I low rolled, that would just be devastating. You know, that I would lose 10 points for sure. So I definitely kill Zeb there. I get 8 points. Well, actually 9. I should have got 9 points. I forgot about motivation, but it ends up not mattering. He activates, I believe, Kanan. Yep, and this time Davith is not so lucky, but he only takes 7. He's got 10 health. Kanan can't really one-shot Davith. It's something going for Davith. Then he uses Spectre Cell here and to attack with Ezra. He finishes off Hera. Moves Ezra 2 spaces. Okay, and I activate Davith because I know that he's not long for this world. I need to get him out of harm's way, but I also want to do some more damage with him before he goes. So attacking Kanan here. Kanan high rolls. I think he re-rolled into that. Maybe not. But so I can either do, I think, 1 damage if I spend my surges, or I can attack again with Fell Swoop and get some cut and run. So I decided to use Fell Swoop instead of dealing damage. I still get to become hidden. I do 1 damage with movement from Fell Swoop, and then with my other attack, a lot better this time. I do a nice 3 damage. So it took 7, but I dealt 4 back. And now I move up behind R2 so that Hera is not going to be able to see me without moving into Han's end of round attack, which I haven't been able to use all game, but that's because I just had to kind of keep Han back and safe. So he activates Ezra here. He goes to attack Ahsoka. There's not really anything I want to do here. I don't want to play right back at you because he'll just recover off the damage with his surge ability. Does 7. Again, can't one-hit KO her, thankfully. Activate R2-D2 and draw a command card, drawing Death Blow. And make sure to keep him off of that terminal so Chopper can't kill him with a system shock. He goes for the attack on R2 so that he can stay safe from the end of round Han attack. But I roll a dodge. Go R2! Usually I don't roll that well with R2 defensively, so that was kind of nice. And now, so Ahsoka unfortunately cannot get to any of these critical positions, the ones that I wanted to get away from Ezra and come down and join the fight against Hera and Kanan. So I just have her attack Ezra. He rolls a dodge, but I have twin sabers, gets rid of that. And here's where I made the mistake though. I have right back at you in my hand. I know Ezra's going to be following Ahsoka closely with his brash. I should have played the death blow here to try and get him as close to 3 as possible. To try and get him to 3. And then I can just, he can't attack me. And if he does, he'll die immediately. But I didn't do that here, and he only goes down to 4 health. So I move her down to a critical position to try and control, get some victory points. End of the round, we both control 1, I believe. No, I'm sorry, both control. I control 1, he controls 2. But I'm still in the lead. Oh no, he ties it up. So Ezra chases Ahsoka. I get to keep my initiative here, really lucky. So I decide, because I can't play hide in plain sight on Ahsoka and still be able to attack, because he kept out of range of Vigor. I go with Davith first, because I know he's gonna die this turn. And here I attack him, and because I want to be able to keep my surges for Fell Swoop, I use Element of Surprise and Death Blow on this attack. That way, to deal damage, I don't have to spend my surges. So I do 2 damage, because he does have that automatic block, even with Element of Surprise. Cut and run, do another damage. And now, even though he has his defense dice, I get to keep all my surges, and I finally roll a decent roll. And I do 4 damage. I overkill him by 1. So I didn't need that death blow. Should have used it on Ahsoka. But you know what? Maybe I would have needed it. Kanan dies, but before he goes, he's got a dying lunge too. Or I should say he has a dying lunge. Easily kills Davith, who decides doesn't want to roll dodges anymore. That's fine. We both score, and now we're just 1 kill away. And so here we go. So he can kill Ahsoka here. I can't kill him with right back at you. But when he kills Ahsoka, if he has Ezra if he does it with Ezra and he's within range, I get to use Dying Lunge before Ahsoka dies and gives away any victory points. When I use Dying Lunge, if I defeat Ezra, I'll score the victory points here. And even if we score them simultaneously, because I'm in the lead, I will score more points and have more than him once we hit 40. So that's kind of my plan here. I freak out a little bit though, because he activates Chopper first, and I'm like, oh my god, if he kills me with Chopper, then I can't I won't be able to reach Ezra with Dying Lunge, and I'll lose. But he pushes me towards Ezra because he has his own plan. He wants to use Spectre Cell to finish off Ahsoka here, and I use right back at you to make sure that he goes down, to make sure that Ezra loses here or gets defeated. And of course I'm going to die, so I might as well use it, right? no dodge. So Ahsoka goes down, and here I play Dying Lunge according to plan. So before he can score any points, I get to kill Ezra. Or I would kill Ezra, but he has On the Lamb, of course. And I think he only had like 3 cards left in his command deck. And gets away. Oh, and Ahsoka goes down, and that is the end of the game. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I thought that was a really interesting game. There's a lot of positioning going on there, a lot of command card play, a little bit of luck for both sides. Probably a little more for me. But I want to thank my opponent, Do or Do Not, who played me. He was an excellent player. As you saw, I thought he played really well, and he made the game really interesting with the way he played. And yeah, I thought that was a fun game. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe if you like the content. If you haven't already subscribed, thank you to everybody who has subscribed. Thank you for people who like. Comment. Go ahead and post down in the comments. Tell me what you thought. Tell me if you saw any mistakes that I made. Tell me what you think of the list. And yeah, thanks guys. I'll see you later. Bye.